So I've had this chicken coop for about a year now, and I figured I would do an update video just to, for one, answer some questions that I've gotten pretty frequently about how much it cost, and also just looking at it now, how practical it's been, and what I would have done differently. The coop itself, over a year ago, cost me about $700, $750, and which isn't too bad compared to, I was looking at buying some pre-made coops from like Tractor Supply and places like that, but they were just kind of small. They were more affordable, but they were kind of small, and the materials used didn't seem sturdy to me. So that's why I opted to buy plans, and I bought mine off of Etsy, which I'll link to the plans down below. I'd encourage people to go check them out on Etsy. I don't want to just give away the plans for free because someone designed them, took the time to do that. So it's not up to me to just be able to give them out to whoever wants them. So it's pretty cheap. It was like $15. So I would encourage you if you're really interested. They were really easy to follow. I had to do some minor adjustments materials wise, but nothing crazy. Okay, so let's jump into the practicality of this coop and any changes that I would do if I were to build this again. So the first change is inside the nesting box. So there's 5 nesting boxes in here. In the plans, they weren't elevated. There was just like a 2x4 divider that divides the nesting boxes from the rest of the coop. So, which this is something I could always do now. It'd be pretty easy to do, but I would elevate the nesting boxes just a little bit. It's not a huge deal, but looking back, I should have elevated them to just really keep them separate, keep shavings in the nesting boxes a little better. I think the number of nesting boxes is good. I want to say this coop was like a 12 chicken or a 12 hen coop, and I've got 5 hens. So if I were to get more, which I may do in the future, I wanted to have at least 5, but it doesn't matter because they all fight over one nesting box anyway. But there's no harm in having this many. So, and the plans called for it. So, especially if you're a first time getting into this and you're building it yourself, it's easier to just follow the plans to a T without deviating from it, just so you don't screw anything up. So the only other thing I would change is you'd have to build something to cover this little access door and their ramp, because when it rains, it just peppers the side of that door. It'll hit inside the coop. It'll get their ramp real slick. And so you would have to build an addition to this coop, just some kind of little cover. And right now I have them in a little temporary run while I build them a bigger one. So I still let them free range out in the yard. I just have to watch them with my dogs. So eventually I would like to do a path that leads off of my back patio. There'll be a fence right here that goes across that way, just like a smaller ranch style fence. And there'll be a gate right here. So you'll come through this gate and there'll be some kind of little pathway that leads to the coop. And then they'll have all of this area. The fence will probably go around the coop and then that way to my current fence. Then I can get rid of this totally, and they'll have a lot of space. They'll be able to go all down the side of the yard. And I will have a privacy fence, hopefully soon, that I'm going to build around this whole property. So that'll just make it more secure for them. It won't be this chain link fence. But for now, this is going to have to do. I've got a lot of work ahead of me. This place is like a jungle. So I'm in the process of clearing it and just trying to get ready. The mosquitoes are already getting really bad because it's so overgrown, so it's become one of my priorities. I need to cut down a lot of trees. And yeah, so far it's really worked for me. Like I said, if you're interested, there's a link to the plans in the description, so you can follow those, support the creators of the plan, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.